Chapter 10, Section 1, World War One. The Great War, the war to end all wars, the big one, the big war. It became known as World War One when World War II came along. Standards covered. In 1914, nationalism, militarism, imperialism, regional tension, economic rivalries, and entangling alliances led the nations of Europe into a brutal war. Before 1914, it had been almost 100 years since there was a major war in Europe. Nationalism, which is devotion to one's nation, was a major primer for the tension. France wanted revenge against several German states from losing Alsace-Lorraine in 1871. The leading industrial nations competed for lands with raw materials as well as places for military bases to protect their empires, carving out colonies in Africa, Pacific, and China. European leaders began to wonder when, not if, war would break out. To prepare, leaders increased army sizes and stockpiled weapons. Germany became the most militarily prepared. It also built up its navy to rival that of Britain, the world's strongest. Britain countered with its own build-up. Militarism, which is military glorification, became a European norm. European leaders prepared for war by forming alliances. Two major ones formed: the Triple Alliance, Germany, Austria-Hungary, and Italy, and the Triple Entente, Britain, France, and Russia. You can see the Central Powers right in the middle of the map. This was the Triple Alliance. It was called the Central Powers because of its location in Europe, right in the center. And the Triple Entente, France, Russia, and Britain. On June 28, 1914, Archduke Francis Ferdinand was killed by Gavrilo Princip. Austria-Hungary sent a harsh ultimatum to Serbia demanding cooperation in an investigation. Serbia refused, and Austria-Hungary declared war. The alliance system turned this quarrel into a world war. Germany declared war on Russia, their ally France declared war on Germany, the next day Germany declares war on Belgium, etc., etc., etc. German soldiers fought through Belgium to within 30 miles of Paris. The British and French counterattacked and stopped the Germans at the Marne River. Germans settled onto the high ground, dug trenches, and fortified their positions. The British attacked, losing thousands of men. The Allies dug trenches, and when the Germans attacked, thousands of them died as well. 450 miles of trenches stretched from Belgium to Switzerland. Known as the Western Front, it was crucial for winning the war. Generals on each side threw soldiers into the battle without considering deadly new technology. Charging trenches against heavy artillery was futile. The attackers suffered heavily, producing a stalemate. As the war raged, Wilson called for Americans to remain neutral. Most Americans sided with Britain. Here's a picture of trench warfare. You can see this is an Allied soldier in the trenches. The German trench would look very similar, except they're going to be facing each other. This is an early form, though I guess not an early form, but started in the Civil War with the breastworks. Everything would be exposed except for the head. Of course, rifles now are more accurate, but still, same thing, started in the Civil War. American opinion was swayed against Germany because of the vicious attack on neutral Belgium. Eventually, three groups formed in the U.S. One, isolationists, they wanted to stay out of the war. Interventionists wanted to get involved. Internationalists worked to achieve world peace without entering the war. Britain blockaded German ports. Germany attempted to blockade Britain, but instead used U-boats to sink Allied shipping. May 7, 1915, a U-boat sank the British passenger ship the Lusitania, killing 1,200 people, including 128 Americans. Germany kept the U.S. out of the war by promising not to sink any more passenger ships. Here's a picture of the Lusitania and the U-boat that sank it. This is an artist's rendering. You would not actually find a U-boat in the picture. 1916, Germany broke the promise. The tank sank a French ship that passed the Sussex. Germany issued the Sussex Pledge, promising not to attack passenger ships, but it wouldn't last long. At the end of 1915, Wilson begins getting America prepared for war. Congress passed the National Defense Act, expanding the size of the Army, and the Naval Construction Act, ordering the buildup of more warships. In early 1917, two things pushed the U.S. into war. The first was the Zimmerman Note. Foreign Minister Arthur Zimmerman. The note encouraged Mexico to declare war against the U.S. if they entered against Germany. When Germany won the war, Mexico would get back Texas, New Mexico, and Arizona. Here's a political cartoon about it. Join with Germany and you get a bit of the United States. The telegram was intercepted by the British and promptly given to the U.S. Next, Germany declared unrestricted submarine warfare. On April 2nd, Wilson asked Congress for a declaration of war against Germany. On April 6th, Congress said yes. The Senate voted 82-6 in favor, and the House voted 373-50 in favor of war.